Be aware of your prejudices and release fears. As I was walking my son, I, saw these two guys and a young little boy, and I'm not gonna lie, they looked kind of like what media depicts as racist. How can I say? Like someone who would basically hunt down a black person and do something to him. A lot of tattoos, American flag on the shirt, and just, uh, you know, not black. And honestly, a little fear rose in me. I was like, okay, you know what? I recognize this, and this is a prejudice feeling. And I was like, if I pass by them, I'm going to speak, because sometimes the best way to dispel a prejudice is to show the person your true essence, and to let them see that the human aspect of you and not what they assume is you. Like I always say, assuming is the devil. And it's like just saying hi and speaking and smiling and waving will dispel whatever is going on in their head, and they're like, oh, okay, that was nice. But not being judgmental or something like, man, I'm racist or I'm prejudiced. I just assumed that they were just this and that. That's okay. These are the conditionings and the programming that we have through media, through music, through everything. So it's like it's no wonder why in our subconscious we think these things, because that's the programming. Being prejudiced, being stereotypical, thinking that just because a person looks a certain way that they're not good people, or they're not gentle souls. Okay, so I just posted a video on kind of a reflection about having prejudiced thoughts, and just understanding that you're not always your thoughts, and you can always reframe, which reframe means a way to change your thought to a more, how can I say, realistic or rational idea. And I always say, me and my boyfriend always talk about how the best way to dispel and quiet the mind or the ego or whatever, all these mental constructs, is to prove it wrong. And the best way to prove it wrong is to kind of just put it out there. Like in this case, putting it out there would be just how I said, when you're in your head and you think it's something about a person, oh, they look stuck up, or they mugging, or yada yada, just speak, smile, say, hey, how you doing? You never know. You may make a new friend. You may see, oh wow, I was judging him. I was just, and it's okay. Now this is not to say feel bad, but I just want to go in there and say that. And then I also started thinking a little further. I was like, dang, is this how white people feel? When you walk by their car and they lock their doors and clutch their pearls and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like, not to say to excuse the behavior, but if anybody who's not black is watching this, think about your prejudices too, and understand that the best way you can get past them is to admit that sometimes you may have these prejudices, and it's not your fault, and it's not really you. It's the programming that you have, because every time you see a black person, you may see them depicted as a thug, a gangster, a criminal, a prostitute, or some kind of negative figure in the media and movies and TV. And so this years of programming of this is the only way you see black people in this negative light has created an illusion in your head that makes you feel like black people are this way, when in essence we are all one and the same. We're all loving beings. This world has just created a negative encapsulation, like layers of negativity around us, and all of it really is illusions. Because I'm not saying there are not bad people in this world, but it's like the way that we see it, the way that our perspectives and our mind has been wired, is to see things from the most worst case scenario, the most negatively centered, and it kind of comes along with evolution. Like, it was a survival tactic. So, once before when we was with the wild and the animals, your mind needed to know, if you hear rustling in the bushes, it's automatically going to say, oh, that's a tiger, let me run, But there's no tigers right now. It's another story for black people. We sometimes do feel like that still, because of how the media depicts, police brutality, and how, like, when we go outside, I don't know if many racists feel like this, but we fear our lives. We fear our lives just by being who we are because of the color of our skin. We can't run and hide. We can't blend in. You know what I'm saying? And then we're constantly being bombarded with trauma and everything that we consume as far as like media, music, TV shows, and the news. So it's like we kind of can't escape it, but it's just a point where you have to carry faith in God. And I always say a foundation in faith, you will never fail. So, yeah, I just kind of like want to reflect a little bit more, add that little bit of touch to it. As I think of other stuff, I'll try to keep everything grouped together. So this kind of is a continuation of the prejudice reflection. And I'm going to try to make a couple more videos that I was telling you guys I wanted to speak on and touch on, so you can get some more, of my opinions. And I kind of feel like this is something that a lot of people can relate to, because I base a lot of my episodes on conversations I have with my family, on my own personal reflections, and just, a lot of my wisdom that I just carry with me. And I feel like it's something that I'm speaking to, like the black folks, the African American race, the black people, whatever, that I feel like it's kind of like perceived as the abandoned race. Like, like the ones that are like the lost cause, people, the ones that people don't want to pour into and uplift, and they feel like, oh, they can't, they done for. There's no hope. You know what I'm saying? Because there is hope. And I don't want you to think because of your situation, where you live, how you look, how you act, how you talk, denotes or how can I say, or is any representation of your worth or your value or what you're capable of doing. And if you're capable of receiving the same outreach that everyone else is. If anything, we're the most resilient. The more you've experienced like a life of poverty, a life of trials and strife and tribulations, like the more I feel like God has poured into you. We just have to start focusing on our faith again and rebuilding that. And I'm not saying be religious and, and go to church every Sunday. It's not about that. The faith is in your heart. That's where God lives to me. Like that love. Love is just holding true to love. Don't let nobody harden you. Don't let this world harden you. But, I'm going to end this off with, someone who cares, a spiritual activist. Peace, love, light, and healing energies. Be open to receiving it. I love you guys. Peace out.